Hello everyone, thank you for checking out the video. I've had a lot of people ask me about this in a couple of Facebook groups that I've been in, so let me go ahead and make you guys a video, why not? I want to show you this Infinity War Iron Man arm that I have made and modeled. I made one for myself. This is the second version that I had commissioned, and so I want to show you a little bit more about this. Now I took this 3D printed file. It's by Nico. Shout out to Nico. That's what's up. He makes really good files. Didn't really have to do much to this one. I did customize the file a little bit using Mesh Mixer, just to kind of size it and also cut it at a couple points, and we'll take a look into that too. So let's get into it. I want to show you this thing. So let me start off by showing you the number one component of this, and this is where everything is housed in the hand. Now in a previous one that I had done before, I had the controller in a different part, and it just wasn't easily accessible, especially when I was wearing it around the convention. So I really thought about this one and reworking it, so I went ahead and did those adjustments. So when you're looking at the hand, this is what the hand looks like. And I actually 3D printed the hand in transparent filament by Zyltech. Put a link in the description. You guys can check it out too. Really great filament. Never had any problems with it. They are going to be my go-to filament, but that's what I used. That's what that looks like there. So let me show you what the inside looks like. It opens up like a book, so let me talk about that a little bit. So it comes in two parts, and that's just the way that it comes with. I didn't have to slice that portion of it, but I did size it a little differently. And so it has one half the palm and the upper half. Right here there is a elastic band with a Velcro that I put on there, and the other end connects to the palm half. That's right in the middle there, or kind of on the side I should say. And so that just kind of slides over there, and you can press the two halves together, line them up, and that locks in there perfectly. It does have a little bit of wiggle room, not with the Velcro. The Velcro actually stays in place really good, but the elastic band, just so that you can flex in, if you have a bigger hand, or if you want to give it to a friend that has a bigger hand, maybe they can fit into it, so you can size it accordingly, so it's adjustable. We have a small little recharge right here, this guy that's kind of free hanging, but it actually tucks in right into the middle of these light strips. It holds in place, doesn't really move. That is a micro USB port. And to actually power it, so right now it actually has this little switch. It's on the on position, just leave it on, and then when you want to activate the lights and the sound, there is ran a cable from the inside. You can kind of see that on the opposite end of this glove. Oh no, right here, I should say, on the knuckle. So we have one going into here, just put a hole with a cable, and that goes to the index finger, this pointer here. So that's one right there. So the thumb and the finger just press right there. There is a second tack switch, and this operates the LED light strip. This is on the middle finger, of course, to give that iconic finger snap. I've already set these the switch, the microcontroller switch. Now this particular one is pretty nice. It has actually 72 different modes. The one that I chose, you probably saw it in another video, but it already has all the different colors that kind of cycle through. Otherwise, you can play around with the different modes and cycle it to like one solid color. You can have a bunch of different color arrays, or flashing strobe lights, or fading in and out different lights. So there's a ton. I actually, it took me a while to actually choose the one that I wanted to actually get that full movie simulation one, and then I just kind of left it there. The cool thing is that once it's powered off, it does memorize the last setting, and I just leave it in the on position, and that way when I hook up the power, this button will activate it on and off, so I really don't have to go in there anymore. Really, once everything is kind of set, these can be left alone, and you really don't need to dig back into this glove. All except for charging this light and audio board, the other one that controls the infinity stones. This does need to be flipped on the off position. So left is on, right is off. So you want to switch it off. And let me show you what that is. So once you switch it off, you can connect another micro USB connection over here on this side. And you can use a cell phone charger. And it takes about 1 hour to charge. And then you could just disconnect it at that point. And then when you actually power it on, it will activate the lights and sound for one go, and then you can just kind of activate it with the other tack switch that you have on the forefinger there afterwards. So that's pretty easy. So let me go ahead and show you how this connects to the next piece, and I'll show you a little bit more of that. So this is the forearm piece, and this fits nicely right there to go with the hand. So that's all one piece there, as you can see. And then the other end of the forearm, the bottom half, it's just looks like that actually. Now I kind of left this little gap, a little lip on that elbow, and that's going to serve two purposes, and that's mostly just so that you can open and close this hinge and it doesn't really rub or anything. Okay, so it also gives your elbow enough room to flex, just for normal movement really, and it doesn't get in the way. So once I had the two halves, I went ahead and connected them. Again, we got that Velcro, or not Velcro, but the elastic band, the 2-inch elastic bands here. So one at the bottom near the wrist, one at the top near the upper forearm area, and I left a little space down below near the wrist, just again to add to that movement. You can see it kind of moves around down there. All right, so this is actually going to be really comfortable when you're wearing it. I have another piece at the top of the forearm. This is going to be on the inner forearm part, and this is just another piece of that elastic band, and the Velcro on this end, and that's pointing away from you. And then on the other half is where that Velcro will attach to. This is that fuzzy Velcro part. And the reason you do that is so that, like, you're going to be wearing a suit underneath your sleeve, and you always want to have that grippy Velcro part pointed away from you, so that you don't have like any kind of like scratching on you, or it doesn't like attach to your sleeve and really mess it up, because then you'll have that little bit of fraying on the fabric. So that's what that looks like. You just basically put it on, you line it up, and then if you can reach with maybe a thumb, you just kind of press it, push and press. It's a new word, I invented it just now. And you can see it flexes there, and it also looks pretty solid there. So again, if you know, it's almost like a one size fits all, but not really. It's like if you're a bigger person, taller, more lengthier arms or whatnot, you just need a little bit more space, and you have a friend you want to lend your suit to, then I mean, you're gonna be an awesome friend, 1, and 2, it's gonna fit them comfortable, and 3, they're probably not gonna wreck it because it fits so comfortably. So that's what that looks like. Now another thing too is I left the bottom portion of the wrist open, and I did this because it's comfortable. And the upper Velcro, it has more than enough attachment. Again, this is what it looks like attached. It's pretty solid. And when you're moving your wrist around, just bending it, normal motion again, then, this can open and close. It has a little flex to it, but it still stays together regardless. So it doesn't really need so much. You don't want to constrain yourself so much. You're already wearing this big heavy suit. So the other half, we have two halves. We have one half, this JST connector. This connects to the hand portion that we saw over here. Let me go ahead and connect that so you can see there. So this connects there, snaps in. All right, good. And the rest of this can tuck into, I tuck it into the hand portion just because it seems like there's some room there, and it's going to flex and it's going to hide it really nicely. All right, so let me show you that. That's what that looks like once it's connected. This other cable here, this is the USB cable again. This is going to be running on the inside of your wrist, on the inner part. So again, it's kind of out of the way. And the nice thing is I got this really comfortable glove, just kind of like a standard automotive work glove. And it has a Velcro on the wrist. So again, it's pretty comfortable. It's gonna open, and it's gonna hold our cable in place on that wrist. So what I did was I went ahead and got the cable, just kind of brought it down through the palm, so it comes from the center of your palm where that button connects to. We have the button on the middle finger, cable runs through, connects to the USB cable. The cable will come through right here, and once it gets to that wrist part, I just kind of set it in place right there, right on the Velcro, and then I close it on it. And it has some wiggle room, but it's not going to move anywhere. It's going to keep that in place. And we want to keep it in place so that it kind of, guides the cable through to our forearm. So when we put the forearm in, this cable, it's just going to sit right in your forearm, just like right down the middle. So I'm just using this battery. It's a cell phone charger battery, not too big. This is a I want to say 4-inch battery. This is a 2,600 milliamp. This is going to be enough to charge it, I would say, the whole day, or keep it lit. And this is a 5-volt. Very important. It needs to be 5-volt, 1 amp. If you get the 2-amp ones to charge a cell phone faster, this is going to probably damage or burn out your microcontroller or the LED light. It'll probably work, but it'll wear it out. I don't know. I didn't want to take that chance and gamble. I saw specifications and I just bought the parts accordingly. So again, that just kind of connects right into this part. It's probably going to light up. I don't know if I have it powered on. No. Okay. So again, that just kind of connects there, and hopefully it's small enough where it can just fit into your forearm. The forearm, it's rather deep, I want to say. For me, I don't have the biggest arms. I'm 5'7", but it fits me. So if you can find out, compartment to fit it in a crevice there, that would be good. Otherwise, maybe just wear an armband or tuck it into the sleeve of your costume or whatnot. So that's that battery, or you get a smaller battery. This is going to connect to, we have the upper forearm area. Now this is near the elbow, okay? This is going to run on the inside of the elbow, from the forearm to the elbow up into the bicep. So what that looks like is this here. So just another JST connector there. And again, a little bit, so we have a little bit of different colors here. So it's still the same thing, but we want to match up the red with red, green with green. We have black with white, but that's just the same grounding cable. Just don't get too confused with that. Otherwise, it's the same connection. And this bicep piece, again, we're kind of using the same style that we have with the rest of these parts, where we're having it's like I modeled it where it was 2 halves basically. So I kind of split it down the middle, where you have like the upper showing of your bicep right there. All right, so that's what that's going to look like. Let me just put it on. So as you can see right here, bottom portion of the bicep, the upper portion of the bicep, and it makes me look super buff, right? Superpowers? No? All right, anyway, it has this other end of the JST connector, and that is going to connect to the upper forearm area that we had connected before. This is going to be the first part that you put on. It's going to be the last part that you take off. Just make a note of that. And so we connect the JST connectors there. I'm doing it with one hand. Bam. So that, it's pretty easy for me. And then I have, this is open up like a book again. And I am just going to set my arm in there. And we will close it. I have the Velcro strip. So the Velcro strip, I just kind of have that, setting on my arm. It's just resting on the top of my arm, and then I'm closing it, and then I'm pushing it up. And there's the other side of that Velcro is just right above it, so I'm just pushing it up and there. That's pretty much it, okay? And that's what the arm looks like there. Then I am going to put on this hand portion. So I just need to open up the wrist part, slide my hand in, close the wrist, and I want to keep that USB cable here. Let me go ahead and slide it through while I have an opportunity. Should have did that before closing it, but I mean I still have some flexibility right there in the wrist because the two halves again. It's comfortable. I'm just gonna open it. So I'm just running that USB cable through. And let me go ahead and close it again. All right, so that's closed. And then, so we have the USB cable down the center of the wrist, back center of the wrist or whatnot. And the hand, I left it open, but what we want to do is just kind of tuck these cables in, line it up from the inside, and the Velcro will go right on the other side there. That's basically it. So there we have the hand is on completely, and that's what that looks like. All right, a little bit of cable showing in there, but I mean I just barely put it on, so I mean, you know, you could imagine that it looks a little bit better if you just kind of play around, tuck it in, tuck it into the elbow where it's not really going to show. Here we have the USB cable. I want to go ahead and now you know, connect this, or connect it, you know, whenever really. I can never get the top and bottom part. It's like 50-50 every time, and I get it wrong every time. So, and then, all right, so now that I have that connected, I'm just pushing this battery pack in. All right, so that's sitting on the forearm portion there. And then, I mean, that's basically it. So, I mean, like, let's turn this thing on. So, the fingers, this glove is a large glove. I wear a medium. This is not made for me again. So I'm gonna go ahead and push the button. That activates the lights. And, I mean, that's what everyone wants to see there. The other button on the index finger right here, this will activate the stones. So that's what that looks like. The speaker with the sound effects comes from the repulsor on the palm. All right. And that's what that looks like. All right, guys, let me know what you think. If you have any questions about it, how I made it, I'm gonna put as much of a description materials used in the bio. If you want me to make one, I'm open to the opportunity. I'm pretty busy. Making one of these, I mean, I think I made this one pretty quick. I could probably make it faster. I want to say it took me 2.5 to 3 weeks to make this one. But that's only because I needed measurements. If I had the measurements right away, it would probably been faster too. So I'm going to say maybe I can crank these out in about 2 weeks. And that's just like working on it. I mean, it's not my full-time job, but it is something I enjoy doing. So it doesn't really feel like work. It's just a hobby that I'm really proud of. I love doing this. But there's a lot involved. Obviously, 3D printing it, masking it, taping it, a lot of sanding actually, I should say, masking, painting. These gemstones actually were 3D printed, then they were prepped, and then I made a mold of them. I made them out of resin, each with their own individual color, as you can see, obviously. And I actually added like some neon pigments along with translucent neon pigments and glow powder. So they actually glow in the dark even when it's, you know, lights out. So that's cool. At least some part of this arm is always going to be lit up. So why not be the Infinity Stone, right? But yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know what you think. I'll try to answer everyone. Otherwise, I appreciate everyone. I hope this answers like a lot of people's questions on, you know, how'd you do that? All right, I'm out. Peace. Oh, like, share, subscribe. I'll make a channel or something on YouTube. So, yeah.